Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod.
So, Tobi, episode number 5 of Hear Me Roar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some incredible guests so far. So what's lighting you up today?
There's a couple of things. Yeah. Firstly, we're coming into the NBL playoffs.
Oh, yes.
So for those of you that don't follow along, NBL, National Basketball League, very different to NBA, National Basketball Association, which is the US league. We have a big game to close out. It's Melbourne Phoenix versus Melbourne United tomorrow night in Melbourne. That'll close out the season. Then we move on to playoffs. And I think you can draw a line between teams 1 through 6 on any given night could beat each other. The competition is really, really close. I love basketball, like you know. What's lighting me up right now is my kids are talking about it.
Yes.
My kids want to go to the game tomorrow night. Unfortunately, it's sold out. But they do come every other week with me when we have a Phoenix home game. Yeah. I'm really lit up that like stuff that I've loved as a kid is now sort of flowing through to my kids on next gen.
I'm looking forward to when we have Josh on the pod, and I've been doing a bit of research on him and his leadership style.
Yes.
And I actually love the way that he leads with heart, with encouragement, rather than the old-fashioned style. And he talks a little bit about that. So curious to ask a little bit more there.
So Josh has become a really good friend of mine. Him and his family are hanging out with me and my family and I a lot. My younger daughter Harper loves his younger one Shireen. And what I love about Josh, and we're talking about Josh King, who's the current Southeast Melbourne Phoenix head coach. Josh came in, the team was 0-5. He's come in, the team's finishing, hopefully they beat Melbourne United tomorrow night, but he's come in 0-5, 0 wins, 5 losses, and they're sitting now 4th.
Amazing.
Maybe finish in 3rd, maybe as high as 2nd, depending on who falls out above. But actually it's Josh's leadership for me.
Yeah.
And I speak to a lot of sponsors, I speak to a lot of people that are a part of the Phoenix community. And I've also been on X the last few weeks, like commenting on stuff for Phoenix. And Josh has got, I reckon Josh has probably got more fans than our rising star or one of our star players. And you've got to go to a game to really appreciate him. But when he gets into the post-game press conference, it's not about Josh. It's about his team. And he's paying homage to the team at all times. But the team are feeding off his energy. And so I think it works really well because they both have got such admiration and respect for one another.
Well, that leads us into our next guest.
Yeah.
So Phil that we're about to have, I've been to his workplace, his 2 workplaces within the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
And I have never seen such a happy, joyful, supportive community.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to hear from Phil. Phil is actually, it ties really nicely to my heart in terms of basketball. And I'm excited to learn about his ventures. And he reported to David Stern, the former, rest in peace, David Stern, commissioner of the NBA.
Amazing.
And to me, David Stern was monumental in what we have today around the world. So I'm very interested to hear about Phil's journey being a direct report to David.
Let's do it.
All right. Guys, you've seen me put out content for years. It all started with James Shadrack from Purpose Productions. We've filmed over 800 vlogs, several hundred different pieces of content that has helped me take my business to the next level. We use Purpose Productions for all the content, pods, vlogs, and storytelling that we produce. Check out purposeproductions.co to learn how James and his amazing team can help you scale your business and get your message out there. All right, here we are, Phil. Welcome to Hear Me Roar.
Hi guys, great to be here.
Amazing.
Well, thank you. And I was so excited to get you in today after first visiting only recently Sage's Cottages.
Yes.
And we had a function there with the local Member of Parliament, and it was just such a beautiful venue. And then I met Phil and he took me on a tour and I got to see what was really happening behind the scenes. And when you go there and you go to the cafe, have something to eat, it's got this really lovely positive vibe. But behind the scenes, it's this huge farm, and what they're doing is absolutely game changing. Do you want to tell us a bit about
That's
it?
very nice of you. It was good to bump into you, and to be here is fabulous. So yeah, Toby, it was interesting hearing you talk about basketball, and I was lucky to get a job inside that NBA machine for 12 years. And loved it. Travelled around the world. My mates were very pissed off, by the way, when I told them I had a job with the NBA. Like, what?
Yeah.
I was a lawyer, didn't like that. Wanted to get into sports, wrote letters, and just pestered people. And suddenly there was an interview, and I was offered the consumer products manager job for the NBA, Australia, New Zealand.
So Phil at nba.com.
Yeah, that's right. Gee, pre-internet, I mean, this is going back, 1994. And that was 3 years, then a year in Singapore, and then a year in Paris, and then London, and then Hong Kong. So it was an incredible run. But at the farm, where I met you, Kate, my day job now is CEO of a disability support organisation called Wallara. We're a not-for-profit, and I've been in that job 15 years. And I was at the NBA for 12 years, and that was a dream job, for me. Weirdly, this job is sort of better.
It's better?
Yeah, I know that would be hard to believe.
No.
It was for me too. But the way I reconcile it is my job at the NBA was sort of to, improve conditions, drive activity to improve conditions for the playing group. I mean, that's what it's about, really. Yep. And it might be merchandise or sponsorship or events. I used to take the Laker girls, cheerleaders and mascots and players around Taiwan and in the off-season and all that. But now I've got a playing group of adults with disabilities. 600
of them, I believe.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, 600, 18 and up, all with intellectual disability and or autism. And I've got 2 kids. Yeah, one was a professional basketballer and now on an AFL list. And our daughter Phoebe turned 23 yesterday.
Beautiful.
And she has a moderate intellectual disability and is non-verbal, doesn't talk.
Wow.
Roll the dice, DNA.
Yeah.
Got 2 kids on very different life paths.
Yeah.
And I've got to work in both of those sort of spaces, which is cool. So the farm is run by 80 young people with disabilities and coaches who support them to run a farm. And it's open to the public 7 days a week. And I was there this morning, and we opened up a little retail nursery gift shop yesterday.
So we're talking about Sadie's farm?
Sage's
farm.
Yeah, just off the Murdoch Freeway.
That's right. Sage's Cottage Farm, Baxter, 85 Sages Road. Check it out. It's 40 acres, heritage buildings, lake,
beautiful
animals.
Sculptures now.
Beautiful sculptures.
Yeah,
wow.
Donated from the casino.
Yeah, Crown Casino. So there's a McClellan Sculpture Park down there, and I talked to them and said, "Do you ever get offered pieces of sculpture that you don't want or can't fit in?" She goes, "Sometimes." And a week later, she flicked me an email, thank you, to that great person. And there were 2 huge sculptures called the Guardians that have been on the banks of the Yarra for 20 years that were suddenly, free to a good home.
Wow.
So they're at the farm now. Yeah.
So I went there and I dined there. I saw the backstory behind all of this. I thought, this is incredible. And then Phil flicked me an email, and I was a passenger in the car. We were driving over to Ravenhall, and as he flicked this email about you should check out Wallara's logistics services, I've looked up, and next to me is the biggest Wallara sign that it's imprinted in my mind, and I guarantee you'll know the sign on the side of the freeway. Which freeway is it?
Eastlink.
Eastlink.
Yeah.
It's huge, big blue and coloured sign, and everyone that I've mentioned it to is like, oh, I know that. So I know what you're talking about now. He said, come and check out the operation. So I went there and it was absolutely mind-blowing. So in this organisation, they've got people with disabilities doing all sorts of work, but the people there, there's music going, there's a vibe, they're having a good time.
Wow.
Phil knows nearly everyone's name. There was hundreds of people. Hey, Phil, hey, Phil, hey, Phil.
So logistics business?
Yeah.
Separate to the farm.
That's right. So what sort of work? I remember
The farm's a retreat.
Are they
Is that
interconnected as a business?
all
Or?
part of the one organisation.
Yeah, wow.
But the farm is a separately certified social enterprise.
Yes.
By social traders.
And it's powered by the logistics business? Or
No,
the logistics arm?
no, it's sort of standalone under our umbrella. But
Yeah,
it's
wow.
so the 80 clients. So the economics of disability is sort of interesting as a business. The individuals who attend the farm have NDIS money. They get to choose where they go to and spend that money. They buy services. We bill them all individually afterwards. They don't like us, they quit and go somewhere else. That funding follows them. So there's the NDIS income stream, right, that comes from supporting people. And then we have the hospitality stream and any other money we get from the public on top of that. So
Yeah, wow.
that's that entity. But what you saw, Kate, the other day was a 9,000 square metre we have on Eastlink. Warehouse facility. So any St Kilda fans out there, if you buy a beanie or a scarf online, an adult with a disability picks and packs and ships it to you. So St Kilda engages us to handle all their merchandise, storage, warehouse, fulfilment, stock takes, that whole business we do for St Kilda. And we've done that for nearly a decade.
That feels like your old world meshing with your new world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, when you talked about NBA merchandise and entertainment and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
I'd imagine that part of that world was doing exactly this.
Yeah, consumer products was where I started, that's right.
Wow.
I used to visit Spalding or Electronic Arts or, all the different products and that variety of seeing them bring those logos to life. And now to have an organisation that can be part of that experience is pretty cool.
Question for you.
Yeah.
How was your journey in the NBA world? How has that impacted your current mission and vision?
Yeah, well, it was a dream job, and I'm still incredibly grateful and very, very lucky to get that opportunity. And my advice is for anyone who has a dream like that, go out and knock on doors. Yep. I wrote letters, I pestered people and didn't hear back. 18 months later, my wife called me and said, the NBA wants you to come in for an interview.
Yeah, wow.
I thought, she's joking,
Yeah.
Oh no, it's real. In Doncaster, they had a little office. I rocked up to this place. There was a logo on the door. Suddenly I had this interview and then they ended up offering me a job. So that was wild. And so I learned a lot through that whole time and travelled and got those opportunities. We had our son in London, our daughter in Hong Kong, and seeing the business of basketball, in all those locations, because London's a very different basketball market to the Philippines.
Totally.
Every country is a bit different. Do they have local players or not? I remember running around Germany, Tobi, in 1990, I don't know, 8, 9 or something, telling them about Dirk Nowitzki was going to be good.
Incredible.
Young kid
What an
who'd just
incredible
been
story.
drafted, yeah.
What an incredible story. And then, talk about Dirk and Dallas. Big news out of Dallas this week.
Huge.
Well, maybe not some good news out of Dallas, but more great news out of Los Angeles in that trade.
Yeah,
with
shocked the world, hasn't it?
Shocked.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand how Nico, who is front of office for Dallas Mavericks, I don't know how he's keeping a straight face in these meetings. Like, does he feel like, I don't know if you know, but like, to me, he feels like he did a great deal. To everyone else, it's like, what were you thinking?
Yes. For those who don't know, Luka Doncic is my favourite player, and many around the world. He's incredible. Slovenian, incredible talent, 25.
25 years old.
Wow.
Dallas just traded him to the Lakers.
Mark Cuban, by the way, creative Cubes. Cuban.
Yes.
There's a story there that I'll share with you in a minute. Good. But Mark Cuban said, if I have to choose between my wife and Luka Doncic, then I will be going to the courthouse to divorce my wife. Mark sold the vast majority of the company, maybe last year, for some serious money, like $5 billion or something to that effect. And within a year, his star player, who he would have divorced his wife, I guess that was a bit of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
They've got rid of him.
Just got rid of him.
Yeah. So
For like an idiotic trade.
So in the world of basketball, of course, the owners had all the power.
Yeah.
And in the last 10 or 20 years, we've seen the power shift a lot to the players.
Yeah.
And no one does anything, or you didn't think that some of those owners did much at the Lakers without checking in with LeBron James or vice versa. But that's the shock that's changed things now. Wow, who's safe in their beds at night? I just heard people talking. Am I going to be at this team tomorrow?
Yes.
You know, the owners, it's either just another trade or it's a bit bigger than that because this guy's a mega name.
Yes.
And so is the Lakers guy who got surprised as well.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. So if they would have consulted me on it,
yes,
and they didn't,
yes,
and I don't deserve to be consulted, but just on the off
yes.
chance that like they call me up, hey Toby, we're thinking of doing this, I would have traded LeBron, kept AD, not traded AD and kept LeBron. My kids were born in Los Angeles. I lived there for 10 years. I moved to LA because of the Lakers.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to scale North America with my company, but I needed to be in an NBA town, and I loved LA. I loved Laker brand basketball.
Yeah.
So Toby had Pet Lou, just so you know. Literally
Another story
Lou's for pets.
Another story for another time, another segment.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal is one of my mates. He
right.
actually flew out to Australia, I want to say 2 years ago. He was supposed to come here before COVID, then COVID held him up. And he came and spoke to our community here and spent
fabulous.
a lot of time here.
Yeah.
He actually ended up here on Kobe Bryant Day, 24th of August, 2023, I think it was. And a good friend of mine who played in the NBL, Phil Handy, was the coach. And I loved LA. But I've fallen out of love with the Lakers, not LA. I still love LA, and a lot of my friends who are just friends are more family to me than family because of my time there. I fell out of love with LA because I felt like it just become too political, and I don't need to put my impressions upon people's ears right now. But like LeBron and Bronny and that whole circus just didn't, it doesn't add up for me. And so I fell out of love, but I can see myself falling back in love now that Luka's come to town.
Yeah.
He's a spectacular player.
He is, yeah. Him and Jokic, my two favourite players, and both European and very different from your typical NBA sort of athlete. They've changed the game. Seriously, both of them have changed the game.
On and off the court, right? So Jokic, yeah, fantastic. I could talk to you all day about basketball.
I think you asked me a question about how did that sort of affect me or take me to this job. So my kids, if I hadn't had a daughter with a disability, there's no way I would have worked in this space.
Interesting.
I think that's the truth. As much as I might like to pretend differently, it was only Phoebe's condition that made me look at a disability job and think, what the hell do they do? I've got no idea. I don't want to screw it up. Why would they even look at me? But they saw someone who'd sort of had that, global private sector experience. I was genuine. Phoebe was 8, going to a special school. I felt that as much as I was in love with the NBA, the salaries and the money and I wanted to do something maybe where there was a bit more impact, help more people. I don't think Kobe Bryant needed my help, or Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal, So, and the way I reconcile...
Well, when I spoke to Kobe was here.
Wow.
Kobe was here, Shaquille was here. I haven't met Michael, but they said they couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's not different Phil. Sorry. Sorry, my bad.
But I loved, basketball and the NBA and seeing a kid do it. And switching across makes me think about that playing group story. I've just got a different playing group. I've got coaches who are trying to help them be the best they can be. And
200 coaches. So for the 600 people that are there, they've got these incredible coaches, and the coaches are so passionate.
Yeah.
The joy
I can feel it.
that are in both of these organisations blew my mind. You have to go out and see it. Yeah.
Phil, can I ask you, when you think about business,
Yeah.
do you think about the basketball game and apply yourself in the business arena with skills and fundamentals of basketball?
Well, that's interesting. I used to think that you could tell a lot about people by the way they played basketball.
Okay.
You know, they were either tough and could take a hit and get back up, or a bit fragile, a bit soft, whatever. You know, I think sports teaches you a lot of really important life lessons.
Couldn't agree more.
The thing I loved about basketball, maybe like you, Toby, is that, you know, after playing sports, I remember playing cricket, you know, you'd field and you'd hope someone would hit it to you, or one mistake and you're out, you sit on your ass the rest of the day. You know, basketball, you're involved in everything. They say basketball is like jazz, you know. It's this creative, fluid thing, you know, where you get a chance to be offense, defense, a lot of individual opportunity, but there's a team structure, and I do love all of that. And the creativity of the NBA, certainly I was a lawyer, and, you know, the NBA is a very creative space, but driven by it. Stern was a lawyer, you know, Adam Silver was a lawyer, you know, plenty of lawyers there. And the joke is actually, you like this, NBA stands for nothing but attorneys. Wow. Like that. But, you know, the NBA is creative. I was setting up basketball theme parks in the Philippines and in Taiwan, you know, as we traveled things around, and there was a lot of freedom to create.
Yeah, wow.
Licensed companies that you thought would fit the brand and all the rest of it. So I had that training and opportunity to develop things in international markets and sort of grow the game and the business. So it's been really fun to bring that into a disability space, which is typically, you know, not that dynamic or entrepreneurial. But the farm's a good example of how I go, you know what?
They were doing sculptures there.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would say that is
doing...
dynamic and very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a great opportunity to do all that with a different playing group at a time when I think interest in the human condition and diversity, you know, is really high. Paralympics, you know, whatever you like. So it's a great space to be in.
I think about basketball almost every minute of the day.
Wow.
Not from a fantasy perspective, but actually applying myself in different circumstances in the boardroom.
Yep.
I liken to circumstances in clutch situations, or alternatively an off night, sit on the bench, cheer on the team, get the ball in the hands of a scorer. I look at myself as a pure point guard, despite the fact that I was a shooting guard.
Okay.
And I like to distribute as hard and as fast as I can. So inbound opportunity, I got to get it to my scorer. You know, tonight I'm having an off night. I've got to sit on the bench and carry the bags, but still be there and cheer my team on. For my kids and my family, I just got to carry the bags and pay the bills, pay the admission, right?
I'm you're on the sidelines.
I'm not even the star. Yeah. And I'm yelling. I think about I picture myself 1,000 times a day on the free throw line where the clock's finished. Yeah. We're down by 1, and I've got to hit 2 shots to win the game. And if I pay attention to the guy behind the background doing this, hey idiot, you know, and I miss the shots, we deserve to lose. Yeah. And I just think about these processes and how the team motors up and motors down. Great example with my kids. Not yesterday, but last week we had a shocking day with one of my daughters. She just lost her mind for no reason. She's young, she's 9. And I nudged her, I was like, you know what? Tomorrow, it's a new 24-second shot clock. We get to get back on defense. Don't worry about the previous play. Get back and let's continue to jolly on. Actually, this morning she woke up. She hasn't been well. She woke up this morning. She's like, Dad, it's a fresh day. I get a fresh start today. And I liken that to, I try not to hold on to things too long because we only got 24 seconds in offense. Yeah. And then we have to get stops. You know, I have to sit with the finance team and go, we can't pay that, or we've got that, we're not spending that, or da-da-da-da. Yeah. And I think about the motions of the game a lot.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And now that I'm, I guess, less see myself on the field playing, but more, I've got a team of senior executives. You know, my job, as much as to support them, is to be looking for good talent as well, recruiting, you know, looking for talent, finding room to keep talent, dealing with people who maybe hit a wall or a ceiling or, you know, you're entitled, as much as we're working with people with disabilities on the staffing side, I want values and all the rest of it, but I want to expect a standard of excellence, you know, with what we do, be the best at what we do. So, in fact, I've hired a couple of people from sports because I'm a sports guy and a lateral hire, I guess. The guy I just hired did 10 years at the AFL and then a couple of years with Maguire Media, you know, and cultural inclusion within sports and footy. That was the background. And I hired someone else who worked at the Saints and the AFL for 20 years, community engagement, you know, side of football. We do similar things. We've got players, we've got coaches, you know. Those skills are very transferable.
That energy as well is transferable, and I think now looking at it through the lens that you've explained it through, and so have you in team sport, seeing how as an individual you can play your own game, but the bigger game is actually with the people, and that's a really, really empowering thought to people that are watching.
I love team sport. I love, you know, when Shaquille was here, he was like, he's transferred into an amazing entrepreneur and off the court businessman, business mogul. And he said he prides himself on being the dumbest person in the room, and surrounding himself with people and just enabling them to be, you know, obviously he's a magnet for all types of things, but he distributes the ball or the opportunities in the business world to his team to execute on.
Gee, the older I get, the more I think about leadership and culture, team, chemistry, you know, these things everyone talks about, whether in business or in sports, or how powerful it is. And sometimes it's talked a lot about. It's not as often delivered sometimes, you know, in practice. And I've seen that in different organisations where the latest one is Richmond Tigers. My son's on the list there, Richmond, and switched across from basketball into footy. And just to see the well-being and the care for athletes, you know, from top to bottom. Sometimes pos psych and stuff like that can be talked about but not really present. And it's a bit window dressing, a bit tokeny. But if it's really done authentically and embedded and people live it and breathe it, I've seen our son sort of flourish with all that, you know.
Incredible.
It's very powerful stuff.
That's interesting, isn't it? It's not the posters on the wall. It's not the little things that are around. It's actually the things that are embedded. It's what you feel. It's not what you see when you're in the workplace.
Yeah. I'll say to Oliver, what did you do today, mate? He goes, we scrimmaged, we did weights, we did combat or something, we looked at film, and then we went into a room and talked about our feelings. And I go, oh my God, you know, elite sports now is really getting into this stuff, you know, thank God, it's great.
I get to, so the Creative Cubes, my company, sponsors the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. It's our first sponsorship outside of Google Ads that we've embarked on this season. And I've had the privilege as a sponsor to be able to get close to the team and see a lot of their recovery aspects are probably a bigger emphasis and bigger focus than actually doing the lifting and the courts and the sprints and the this and the that. You know, the recovery process is probably a larger component these days, which I really appreciate. I saw on an email yesterday you had a little bit of a relationship with the Hawthorn Hawks as well.
Yeah, I came back from the NBA thinking, what do I do now? You know, we'd done 12 years and I'd done 12 years and I loved it, but I was sort of a bit curious about what else was out there, and Phoebe was a bit different, you know, with her life path. So we came home and I got a job running commercial ops with Hawthorn. Yeah, so all their commercial activity, retail, membership, sponsorship, you know, etc. And it was great to see, because the league office is very different from a club team. Suddenly I'm working for a club and the highs and lows of wins and losses and things, you feel it quite differently, of course, in club land versus league land. But Hawthorn had moved out to Mulgrave from Glenferrie Road. We'd opened up in Tasmania. And so there were 3 heartlands to try to service. New logos got developed. It was an incredibly exciting time to see how the footy world sort of worked. So, yeah.
So a couple of like degrees of separation there. Firstly, Hawthorn, I don't know if you know this, but their front office works out of Creative Cubes East Melbourne. And they share a front office with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. So there's, depending on the season, and the Phoenix also work out of Creative Cubes East Melbourne, but Jeff Harris.
Yes, Flight Centre.
Jeff Harris is a major investor in my business.
Oh, there you go.
Jeff's son, Brad, sits on my board. They are nuts for the Hawthorn Hawks, like hardcore.
Yes.
But actually what I've learned through Jeff used to call me at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning during COVID. Son, don't worry, I got your back. Just keep going. And I'm like, oh my God, Jeff, could you pick a better time to call me? But we're getting plenty of rest at the moment because we can't do anything else. But that business, the Hawks business, they went from losing money hand over fist to really making money. Yeah. And I think Jeff Harris really instilled an amazing culture in that organization. He's instilled it here within us.
Yep.
Charity begins at home is a real fundamental of ours and a huge value of who we are today.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to join the dots.
Yeah,
Jeff Harris is an amazing man.
Yeah.
His speech that he gave at the opening of East Melbourne was absolutely remarkable.
Yes.
So he was very vulnerable and spoke about how tough Flight Centre as a business was during COVID and what happened. And the way that he talked about actually letting his entire team know so that they could be a part of something and do something together instead of hiding it and then, quietly getting rid of people, which people did. He was so open about it and got them together to come up with the solutions and the ideas. And I just thought that was absolutely remarkable because you need to take the ego aside to be able to say, we're really hurting. What do you think we can do?
Jeff, there's no secret weapon here. There's no silver bullet in business, but Jeff has, Flight Centre will turn over $24 billion this year, publicly listed. Hawthorn Hawks went from losing money to making money. Yep. He invested in Janine Ellis.
Yes, Boost Juice.
With 2 shops. He wrote her a check, and he talks fondly about the exit of that, where it was just him and Janine and a whole bunch of investment bankers and just him and Janine fighting for themselves. What he's done with Reach and Kathy Freeman Foundation and Street, all these guys reside, by the way, on the 4th floor at East Melbourne. He's built it into an entrepreneurial epicenter. It's actually his family office. We occupy 2 floors there, serving entrepreneurs. There's no silver bullets, but for some reason, I think Jeff has figured out something.
Yes,
because everything he touches, he's fantastic, and actually he's passed that through to his son Brad. Brad and I talk quite a bit, and I'm just like, Brad, you're such a blessed man to have Jeff like this in your life. It's truly incredible. But really, I just wanted to join the dots. I saw NBA and I saw Hawthorn Hawks. I'm like, why don't we know each other? Amazing, like really amazing.
I've been very lucky. Great organisations, great leadership, culture, and I hope to be building the same where I am now. So it's fun to be involved in sports. As we were saying before, we did the Hawks for 4 or 5 years. COVID hit, they sort of took it back. I think they've done something different with their merch now, but they told the Saints how good we were, so the Saints came on board. We've got the Mavericks and Vixens, 2 netball teams, and plenty of room for more sports organisations out there because, we're good at it, but sometimes in disability, people will say to me, Phil, got some rubbish. Do you guys recycle rubbish? And I go, look, no offence to the disability organisations that do, but people with disability are capable of more than just some of those jobs.
Phil, talk to me just quickly, because I want to connect with you offline and away from the pod. But when you say you're working with Hawthorn Hawks on merch and now the Saints, and you got the Vixens and the Mavericks, are you procuring stuff or logistically shipping it?
It arrives in containers at our place. We are the warehouse. We are the pick and pack shipper.
But I like a Saints jersey or hoodie or beanie or whatever piece of merchandise is being shipped into your logistics center, and you're distributing. You're not actually designing and
no, not design, just storage.
All right.
Yeah, stock take, insurance, risk, all the rest of it. I showed Kate the aisles full of merch. Yeah.
So they pack hampers, and I know lots of people that have got hamper companies. I was like, this operation's incredible because anyone can pack a hamper with some training. Like,
Yeah.
why not empower organisations like this to grow and thrive and create these communities that are doing wonderful things and loving?
If I achieve what I said I was going to do offline,
love to.
I will be.
And why it's a bit of a win, because our guys obviously feel something really special to be working with products like that, right?
Sure.
They can pick and pack anything, you know. But if that's a footy jersey or something that means something, that changes everything. The Saints have filmed us doing that work, and Kate, that was great of you to send it to a few people. But that amplifies the message, you know, because Saints go, look, this beanie, thank you for your support. And by the way, you're providing jobs to people with disabilities in the supply chain here. That's how you can change communities, you know. And so it's really fun working with companies that don't just use us for the job, you know, but actually embrace the backstory and help us amplify that message.
Like
out.
KO.
Yeah,
like
that's right. Cow brands, that's right. Actually, Kate, that's a good example. We Biore nose strips, you know, John Frieda shampoos.
Your teenagers would have them. They put them on and...
So we've done, we make the box, we put the stuff inside, we glue the box, you know, and it sits on the shelf and no one knows. Actually, the sort of story, as I've learnt, if you go down the aisle of Bunnings, Coles or Woolworths, the reality is there are thousands of products on those shelves that are touched by someone with a disability and no one knows.
Wow.
I've gone from the game of the NBA, where it's all about retail branding, you know, to tell a story, to a workforce around the country. There are 20,000 people with disabilities involved in so many supply chains that no one knows, right? So it's fabulous to have a company like that, where we're working with them ever since I've been there for 14 years, come to us. Initially, the first lot of management, we just did a job for a price, you know. But the new management there, the last 4 or 5 years, have increasingly been sort of seeing that backstory and wanting to tell it and embrace it. And now they've come to us and said, you know, that box is like a Band-Aid box. It's not huge, and that real estate's really valuable. But they've created a space and got our logo on there now to sort of tell that story, you know. So
incredible.
You know, the Saints are filming it. Cow has us. So we are sitting on every Priceline shelf around the country now, and if you look on the side of that box, Biore nose strips, there you go. Turn it, you'll see Wallara's logo on the box there, telling the story. So.
Incredible. Thank you for taking the time to sit with Kate and I today on our pod. We're going to circle back. I've got a few things that I need to climb into, but once I'm in there, I'm pulling you through.
Great.
And I'd love to be aligned with you. I think your energy is fantastic. I think your story is amazing, and your mission and vision and what you're doing today. You're a great human being, and we need more people like you in this world.
That's very thoughtful and nice, and what an opportunity to be here on the couch talking to you both. I met Kate a week ago, and suddenly, you know, she's so the energy is great from you guys too, and this building is off the charts.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Kate. You know, we cook up ideas at midnight. We're executing at midday. You met Phil last week. He's here on the pod this week. Thank you for bringing him on and asking him to come. It's been a real privilege, and I look forward to connecting with you more. Guys, stay tuned. After the break, we're going to wrap.
unmissable is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Kate, what firstly, an amazing human being.
Absolutely.
Like to have had that global experience. You know, what was going through my head was, you know, the NBA is a league.
Yes.
It's actually a phenomenal brand.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal brand, and the NBA logo all the way through to the story, to David Stern really putting that league on the map, and now it's like global tentacles. You know, the Phoenix have got the NBL has a program called Rising Stars,
yes.
and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix actually have a rising star in Malik Lewis, who will get drafted next year and go from the NBL to the NBA. And to just have, as a global organization, to have tentacles, or a US Basketball Association to have global tentacles, and have impact locally here in Melbourne, Australia, is one thing. But then to be able to take the lessons and growth from, 12 odd years in there, to be able to then take that into 15 years into not only a fantastic organization, but an organization with purpose.
Yeah. And being curious enough to go somewhere where Phil didn't have the expertise to begin with and the experience, he had life experience, but to be curious enough and adventurous enough and the courage to actually do that is huge, because a lot of people will see opportunities and just think, I don't know if I can do that, or too hard. And
what I love about Phil is he's taken the best parts of both of his world, which is his son being a pro athlete and his daughter having challenges, and he's merged them into the way of his life.
Yes.
He's able to relate to the athletes and then work with people that have got challenges.
And back to our theme of the day, that there is only work and love, and he's got both of them
at the same time.
Yeah.
In the same place.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more one could ask for in this world. Kate, thank you for bringing Phil on. Guys, I'm going to link all of Phil's businesses, maybe even his LinkedIn bio.
And the video is incredible. They need to see this warehouse. For anyone who needs a pick and pack operation, this is a huge ambient storage warehouse. They can pick and pack anything, ship it out to the Coles, the Woolies, the supermarkets, even e-commerce. They can tie in your e-commerce platform and do your fulfillment.
Yep.
So incredible operation.
I want more people heading towards Phil than anywhere else.
So it's Wallara.
Wallara.
Double L.
Yeah. Interestingly, I grew up in Waverley. I grew up in Bondi, which is part of Waverley Council. And adjacent, or the next municipality, is Wallara. So I won't forget that anytime soon.
Well, next time you're going down Eastlink, if you're heading towards the city, look out on your left, and you cannot miss the sign. You'll never unsee it now. It's around Keysborough, I think.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, if you're driving, listening to the pod, pull over. Maybe Phil will shout you a coffee. But at the very least, go check it out, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. You have listened to Hear Me Roar.
Episode 5.